are live, Big Red Dog.
How about you worry about driving?
I am. He needed to stay in his lane. Stay in your lane, bro. You make sure it went listed. Not listed. Yep, I got one person in there. Woohoo! Announce yourself. And it is
Mary Hart.
Hi,
Mary Hurt, sorry. Hi, Jason and Robyn.
Hi, Mary. How does your garden grow? So,
But you would be calling her quite contrary. That's not very nice. Hey,
anyway,
Kathy.
that's why I just skipped that line.
Mm.
What's up, Kathy? Victor's in the house. Victor's in the house. What's really cool that you do not know, but right now, behind us, is Single Papa Homestead.
Single Dad Homestead.
Riding in that little tiny car you got. I don't even know how he fit in there. We kind of had to like oil him up, throw a Twinkie on the passenger seat for him to slide in there.
Mary said, I've heard that my whole life. Oregon PBWF Homestead. Hi,
What's
guys.
up, Oregon?
What's up?
What's up, Oregon? How's it going? So, everybody
Pete's Little Homestead. What's up, Pete?
What's up, Pete? Excuse me. I haven't got to say hey to you, and it seems like forever, Pete. How are you doing, brother? So, everybody in this vehicle
Sky is up.
is off the chain, excited
For where we're going today.
for where we're headed today.
Just saying.
We are headed to the Homesteaders Disneyland.
Yep.
Homesteaders,
Gardeners.
Gardeners,
Disneyland.
Garden of Eden, Disneyland, our holy place.
I still want to go there. We showed you too.
Yeah, thank you.
Everybody thought it was funny because we're like, yeah, we're going to go to Baker Creek. And they're like, well, how far is that? Well, it's another 4.5 hours. Back towards the house? No, 4.5 hours the other way. And they're like, what? You're going to go all that way? I was like, you understand. If we were to go from the house there, it would be 16 hours. It doesn't make sense.
I want to take a second while we're on the road, and I want to talk about the Homesteading Life Conference. Man, what an awesome time. And I want to take this opportunity to be able to thank Doug and Stacy for inviting us and giving us the opportunity to put on a class, share our knowledge about predator control, and give us the opportunity to earn a little income with our booth, and the opportunity to meet folks that we normally won't get the chance to meet being out this way.
Right.
And also
What you saw? What's up?
and also to have the absolute amazing experience of that riverboat cruise.
That's all you've been talking about since we got
I
off
loved
of
it. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
We made some awesome friends on there.
Uh-huh.
Their Instagram channel name is Needles and
Knots.
Needles and Knots.
Mm-hmm.
Do me a favor, go over there to them, give them a follow. You won't be disappointed over there on
They're
Instagram.
really cool people.
They are super cool. I'll put it to you this way. They are us
About 20 years.
about 10 to 20 years from
Yeah.
now.
Yep.
They're absolutely hilarious,
Yep.
good Christian folks. They love Jesus, and they're they were awesome to spend that 2 hours with on that riverboat.
Didn't seem like 2 hours. Like
No,
all of a
seemed like
sudden it was
5
gone.
minutes.
Yeah.
And we laughed so hard.
Yep.
But I did have one kind of, and it really wasn't a negative experience. It's something that I learned. Trip H.
Yes.
Absolutely love them. Great people.
Great people.
Great people. But I must say one thing.
Please don't make him wreck his car because he's driving right now and listening to us.
He is a lot uglier in person than he is on the screen. He's been picking on me all weekend. But that is one ugly dude. Just saying. He does not realize how far up the ladder he married.
I bet he does. All you guys think you married up.
So
he's probably driving going, are you kidding me?
I can't fight back. So Northern Ohio Homestead. Haha. What's going on?
He's laughing.
So we had a wonderful time last night. We had a little bit of a what would you call it? You don't want to call it a get together, but we had some fellowship with. It was us, 2 family homestead, and their beautiful and wonderful granddaughters. Trip H. And his wonderful wife, who's an amazing cook.
Really easy to scare.
I'm really easy to scare, Lanessa said.
And 180 degrees from dirt. They were there.
And of course, Chris, his daughter.
And Chris was there too.
Yeah.
But Chris shared the Airbnb with us, so he kind of fits in with us scenario.
Tulsa, are you kidding me? We're going to be halfway across the country and have to turn around. Tulsa ain't that far.
And
you better watch it.
we had great fellowship last night. We shared all kinds
So
of
much
stories.
food. Oh my God, so much food.
So much good food.
We had grass-fed burgers and
GMO sausage.
GMO sausage. Angela makes cheesecake. All seriousness, how far is Tulsa from Baker Creek? Just check it. Just out of curiosity.
Who's saying about Tulsa?
Permaculture, heirloom permaculture. They live.
Oh. That's a good question. I would not mind bumping into them. Hey, bee lady!
You need to try brew sausage. I don't know what that is. But it is from probably over the pond somewhere.
Yeah. What was I talking about?
I'm gonna apologize for the bumpiness of the camera. I sold all my soap sacks, so I didn't have any very Scottish thing. There you go. Hey, Emily, what's up? I haven't seen you in a while.
So, but I also need to now. I need
Tanya.
I need you guys to understand something. Chris from Single Dad Homestead is slowly
3.5 hours. Gee.
slowly becoming one of my best friends.
Judge me. I'm eating a Twizzler.
And the man can cook on a grill.
Mm-hmm.
But don't ever let that man cook in your house. He filled the entire Airbnb with smoke.
Well, he dropped a burger
Yeah. How do you drop a burger
in the oven.
in the oven?
Thank you, bee lady.
I don't understand that. But he did.
Yeah.
Filled the whole house up with
All of a
smoke.
sudden, I was like, turn the exhaust on. And so we turned it on. I thought it was on the stovetop. And all of a sudden, it started getting kind of
We had to open
cloudy
up
in there. And I
doors.
was like, I hope to God we're not going to set off an alarm. And we had like 18 people in there.
Yeah, we had 18, 20 people in there.
Yeah. And the house was lovely. Lovely.
Beautiful house.
And very spacious. So, I mean, we had 18 people in there, and you couldn't tell. I mean, we had a bunch of kids.
I was
and
gonna
they
say, yeah,
were
we
so
probably had
well
just as many
behaved.
kids as we
We had
did.
more, I think.
We had probably
4,
more kids than we did adults.
6, 8. No, we had more kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we didn't even know it because they were able to have their own little area, and they all ate. What was really cool is when you watched them all say their own little blessing.
Are you on your way to Baker Creek and we're leaving? Yeah, we're going. For some coffee on your long drive. Thank you, Tracy.
Thank you, Tracy. And so that was nice to see that, you know, we're, at least it's starting to stick.
Well, we learned a lot out the group of kids that our kids hang out with at this festival or this conference. The children definitely
They're their own
kind
wolf
of have
pack.
right. They kind of have a pecking order, but they definitely look after each other, which is really cool. Did I have a good trip? Yes, we're still in the middle of it. We're having a great time. I wish Tulsa wasn't 3.5 hours because I'd be like, let's just go.
Hey, Tanya, you ain't gonna say hi to me?
I need some coffee. I know, we were thinking that too. That's why we're drinking caffeine right now. We both stopped and got a soda. Yeah, Henley wasn't there to run the show.
Yeah.
How long is the convoy? It's just us and Chris. Trip H, they left before us.
Yeah, they couldn't wait.
So,
They think they're better than us. So what river are we getting ready to go over right now? What river is this?
no idea. It's not a river.
That is a river.
No, that's not a river. That's
Whatever it is.
the leftovers from all the rain they've had this year.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Okay, here's the river.
All right, this says in 4/10 of a mile we're going to be going towards the left a little.
Okay.
I don't see a sign for the river.
Oh, it's a big one though.
Hold on.
Is it the Missouri?
Can't be. Oh no. Doesn't even have a name on the map.
So I guess we're following it 54 West, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I just say find a river and go over it.
There you go. Find a river.
That works.
Can't go through it. There was,
Whatever.
in all seriousness, everybody that prays, and we need prayer and well wishes to go to an unknown family that lives around the Hannibal area.
Oh,
The very first night of the conference.
no.
Well, I mean, it was the setup day, so the day before the
Saturday night.
Saturday night. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Two Family Homestead took us to a spot is called Lover's Leap. And basically the story of the place was named this way because it was a Romeo and Juliet type story.
Right.
A Native American brave fell in love with a girl from another tribe, and they fell in love with each other, but because the tribes were
Didn't get along.
at war with one another, they could never be married.
Right.
And so they were going to run off together, and the two tribes found out about it and basically started to hunt them down.
Yeah.
And they were climbing up basically climbed up to this one cliff, and when they realized that there
was nowhere else for them to go.
they threw themselves off
Over
off
into
the
the
cliff
Mississippi River.
To their deaths. But it is a beautiful view up there.
Mm-hmm.
You can see for like forever. You can see all the way into Illinois and everything. Well, it right there at the Mississippi. Well, of course, with the Mississippi, they have all those barges that go up and down the river.
Now, hold on. This is a legend. This isn't what we're talking about. This is the legend. So this is where we were. Now comes the heartbreak part.
Yeah, now comes the heartbreak part. We were up there.
Appreciating the beauty. Like, we have pictures of the river and everything that was going on. And then
we hear this blood-curdling scream.
Panic
for help
scream. It's
and
like, it was bad.
It was a female voice.
Yeah.
And so we started I started kind of like pacing up and down.
Yeah.
Trying to find out where it was coming from and trying to figure out how I could get to it.
Yeah.
Once we figured out that it was coming from the middle of the river over there by the barge,
Sherry started to call 911.
Miss Sherry called 911, and there was already a couple of phone calls into it. What happened was a pontoon boat crashed.
It had engine failure.
It had engine failure and crashed into one of the barges.
That's parked out in the middle of the river.
And it sunk the pontoon boat. There were like what they said.
Supposed to be seven people.
7 people on board. It's 2 of them are confirmed dead, right? Yeah.
2 girls.
Two females died. We literally listened to the last one. She was in a full-blown panic. That when the rescue boat came there, because with these barges now, they get their own undertow and get their own current and stuff around them. And she basically got sucked up in that, but she had a life vest on. And
now keep in mind, what we could see was little bitty heads. Like, we couldn't see full body. We were far enough away that we were basically seeing little blobs of color. But did we hear her? Yes.
And she wouldn't let go of the barge. She was in a full-blown panic, and the rescuers could not get her to let go.
And we don't even know if they were rescuers or if they were just good.
Well, they were rescuers. Anybody that goes over there in a boat is a rescuer.
You know what I mean? I don't know if it was in an official capacity or if it was just somebody that could have been a volunteer. We don't know. But anyway, it was a flat bottom boat that went out there to go get them.
I mean, we don't know what type of boat it was.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. Might not know what time of boat it was either. Anyway.
We'll get technical. We gotta stay technical.
I know. Anyway.
But we literally listened to her scream and drowned.
Yeah.
They did not recover her body till the next morning.
Yeah, that night when we were coming back to go back to the Airbnb, they were still on the water with spotlights, trying to find the body.
She basically went up underneath the barge.
They had to wait till the next morning to get a towboat to pull the barges out of the way to get
her body to float back up.
Yeah. No. Everybody else kind of was drifting downriver. We could watch, like there was 2 of them they pulled up that were drifting downriver that they got up out of the water. But the current is super, super, super strong. And all we can figure is that she just panicked to death, drowned. We don't know exactly what happened, but there were 2 of them. One that we heard, and one that, from what we can gather from all the local stuff, was unresponsive when they pulled her out of the water and never regained consciousness. So
just say a prayer for their families, for comfort, understanding, and help them to be able to cope with this accident, because this is exactly what it was. It was an accident.
Yeah.
You know, and maybe this happened. You know, we don't know.
Our kids were fortunate. Somebody asked if the kids saw it. Our kids were not really paying attention because they were playing with
two families'
granddaughters, and so it's just, you know, I don't think they were fully aware of what was going on until they've heard us tell them the story. But they really didn't they weren't really aware of what was going on. But I mean, you could hear the screaming, the holler. I mean, it was pretty rough. And then, we're watching because the riverboat, the river cruise that we go on, they were coming down the river when it happened, and they moved kind of out of the way because they saw the other boat. And the other thing is there was a towboat that was behind another barge a little bit further down, and they actually backed up and came to try and see if they could help as well. And then
Which they have to by marine law.
Right, and then the riverboat kind of pulled off the side, and normally they go downstream a little bit and turn around and come back. Well, instead of doing that, they kind of turned around and then they parked the
They're basically playing catcher.
yeah, they were basically just parked there to see if they could see anybody else coming downstream. And then they were circling and doing their things for, So are the adults okay? Just telling the story has the hairs on my skin standing straight up.
At that particular point in time, my stress level went through the roof. My anxiety went through the roof because I felt completely helpless and useless as a human being because there was no way.
Nothing you could do.
There was no way safely for me to be able to get there and help. Because if I would have went over that little chain link fence and tried to climb down the wall, I could have eventually hurt myself.
Right.
And then there was no way knew exactly not how to get down there. Plus, everybody started fussing at me for even thinking about it because well, you don't understand how strong the current is in the Mississippi. No, I understand it. But you gotta
doesn't change the fact
that I was ready to jump in the water.
Mm-hmm. And the thing is that there's the funny part, not about that part of it, but we finally were like, okay, we need to just go because they were still circling looking for the other girl they couldn't find. And Daryl, you could tell Daryl was just kind of got his head low, and I'm like, it's pretty, it sucks. And he's like, no, I'm just thinking, I brought you up here to see this beautiful piece of heaven with this gorgeous view because you could see so much from up there. And then he's like, and then we all witnessed somebody drowning. That's not my intention at all. And I was like, man, it'll be all right. We'll get over it. But it definitely was crazy, crazy, crazy. Duncan 1900 said the Mississippi River has a lot of undercurrents in it, and it's also very muddy and hard to see in it. That was the thing. Y'all saw someone drown. Yes, we did see someone drown. And we heard, the worst part was, it wasn't that we saw them so much as we listened to them screaming and screaming and screaming, and then there was nothing. It went from being this blood-curdling, panic-driven scream to silence. Complete silence. Not even boat engines, because the boats were all turned off to be able to drift.
It had to be real, and we need to also pray for those people that were in the boat that was trying to rescue, whether they were trained rescuers or not, or if they were just good Samaritans trying to rescue. Because they watched her go under and not come back up. Because they had to have there was a point where they stopped trying to go in front of the barge
and had to go back around.
And they came around to the back and went and picked the two that were floating
downstream,
downriver, and came back, and they hauled them up to
because by that point the EMS had gotten to the
dock.
Shore.
So they real quick went back up there,
and then
came back and started looking for her some more. And that had to be hard on them to watch her drown.
And then not be able to find her,
and not be able to find her for 24 hours.
that was interesting. Yeah. Tracy said, I'm no stranger to death or seeing people die, unfortunately, but it's a sound that haunts you for a long time. Yeah, not easy to leave someone. Yeah. That was probably the thing that bothered me the first night, like when I went to sleep. Like, you can still hear that sound. And the thing that really stunk was at first the scream, you couldn't make out what they were saying. And so we thought it was just some rowdy teenagers on the back side of the barge making a bunch of racket.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until you really started listening and you could hear, help, there's been an accident, help, and and then you start going,
help people in the water.
Yeah.
So Tanya, how's Kitty doing? She's kind of disappeared. Tried calling her a couple of times on Skype before we left and then wasn't able to.
My husband, ex-Navy, former lifeguard, and all this stuff would have thought about going in like Jason, but he would not have ultimately. Yeah, I mean, but at the end of the day, it's what it boils down to is feeling completely useless, and so. Yeah, I don't know how Kitty's doing. That's what we're asking Tanya. Ow.
I get to go see my BFF today.
So we are off to Baker Creek, but that was probably out of the entire trip, experience-wise.
He said she gets to do what today? Ladessa has forged a great relationship with one of the ladies that works at Baker Creek. And she calls her BFF. And so she's excited she gets to go visit her in her world today.
Yeah. So if you're ever in Hannibal, you ever get to come up this way, there is a little coffee shop.
Yes.
It's called
Java Jive.
Java Jive.
Very good.
You need to stop in there and get one of their salads.
They have vegan stuff. They have gluten-free. They have everything you can imagine. Yeah. So.
What did Tanya say about Kitty? Did she say
That
anything?
she lives there with a no shit. I haven't seen anything yet. Phil and Bev, Anthony said, it's such a sad welcome to our state. No, I mean.
Look, I know that kind of stuff probably happens, on all the big rivers,
Right.
The Ohio, the Mississippi, the Missouri, the Savannah. That kind of stuff probably happens every day.
Oh, I'm sure. It's just not something you want to.
It's not something you want to witness, but,
Right.
it probably happens a lot.
I mean, no different than car accidents.
Yeah.
It's like, she said she's fine, but busy as all get out.
That's good. Busy is good.
Yes.
I don't know that. Leave that alone because it'll take us off of YouTube. That lonely prepper in there.
Yes, I did see Lonely Prepper.
So what was your favorite thing about the Homesteading Life Conference?
Oh, I had so many. Like, yeah, that's somebody.
Yeah.
I would say the best is just being able to hang out with good friends and just belly laugh. Like, so hard that you might pee a little.
Yeah, when we went to lunch at that coffee shop.
Yeah.
It was us, Jess and Jeremiah, Ethan,
Sarah. No, just Ethan.
No,
No,
Sarah
it was both of them. Sarah, yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was just Ethan. No, it was just Ethan with Lawrence and his daughter.
Okay.
And then the Fit Farmer with his kids and his wife. Mm-hmm.
And Nunda.
Yeah, Nunda was there.
Laughed so hard. And Ethan from 180s, myself, Chris, Jeremiah, and Ethan from 180 degrees, we stayed up like the night before. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning. And we were having church. We talked about everything from conspiracy theories with 9/11, chemtrails, everything to the Italian mafia, the Russian mafia, and into Jesus and the Lord and how the church is and where the church should be going, where it's not going. And I mean, and we chewed on some meat on that subject. And somehow, about 2 o'clock in the morning, I don't know exactly how we got there, but we got to a point of a conversation where Ethan and Jeremiah did not see eye to eye. And it was just absolutely hilarious because those two are like brothers. And they love each other and their family. And you know how when you don't really agree with a sibling and then you guys start pushing each other's buttons about it.
Right.
That was, it was so funny. And then that basically went through the rest of the entire conference.
Yes.
I'll also say this about the conference. There is a huge difference between Doug on camera or Doug in person.
Just Doug, yeah.
Just Doug.
Or Doug running a conference.
Mm-hmm. That man, I don't think I seen him walk the entire time that we were there. He was either a slow jog or flat out running the entire time. Doug worked, and Stacy too. They worked their tails off to put on this conference.
Really quality speakers and presenters.
And it ran like a well-oiled machine. Yeah. As well as any type of conference could run. I was really impressed by it.
Yeah.
You know.
And there weren't a whole lot of vendors, but there were enough for, of different things for people to kind of get a little bit of everything, exposure of everything. So that was cool.
So if you missed it this year, go ahead and try to plan on going next year. We got it as soon as it was over. Doug invited us to come back next year, and Lord willing and the creek don't rise, we will be returning to Hannibal, Missouri for the Homesteading Life Conference 2020.
Yeah. We had a really good time.
Yeah.
And we still are. We're getting to visit with Chris and his daughter. We're going to Baker Creek, which is really cool.
Yeah.
The one thing that we thought was really interesting, the first part of our journey towards Baker Creek, we were slap in the middle of GMO country. We were driving through, there's cornfields and soybean fields, like one right after the other.
Yeah.
And they would have signs up of what type of seed it was, who the company was. We saw one that said Roundup Ready corn. So we got to see a lot of that. And it's very crazy to drive right through all that stuff, and then see houses like in the middle of all of it. It's just kind of nuts.
And so I already have 3 videos on the GoPro.
Hey, Francine.
To once I get home, I'll edit and put together and put out.
Oh, yeah, so we have to apologize a little bit. We had every intention of filming or going live throughout this whole weekend, and the problem was the internet. It was almost non-existent.
Yeah.
And then by the time we got back to our place, it was just kind of one of those where it's time to kind of just relax, and because there was so much going on, and we just I waited for like an hour. I'm so sorry.
Who said that?
Let's Start Living.
He did not.
It was just I mean, the first night was frustrating because of course we had just gone through that thing with listening to that lady, and then we went to try and set everything up, help everybody set up, and came back to the campground. We ate late. I mean, it was kind of late when we
There was
ate.
Absolutely no internet at the campground.
Yeah, none at the campground. I really did. I was doing other things, but I kept checking to see if you were live. Do you have the type of GoPro that you can wear around your chest? Yes, we do. Everyone was talking about internet issues. It'll be nice to see what everybody's videos are once they're well rested. Yeah, there was no internet. I carried my camera around all day and didn't get pictures with anyone.
Who said that, Duncan?
Brenda, yeah. Yeah, you know what? We were about ready to leave, and we're like, we need a selfie with you. We need a selfie with you. And we still didn't manage to get hardly anybody. But yeah, so there was almost no internet. It made it very frustrating because, well, I don't even know if a MiFi would have worked because, you know, we have Verizon, and it just,
Jess and Jeremiah were able to do their live from the riverboat, but they were, from my understanding, they were buffering a lot.
Yeah, and they didn't do it very long.
They didn't do a very long one.
Yeah. That was...
So. What?
B-Lady said, that's how it works. You're so busy hugging and loving everybody, you don't have time for pictures.
Yeah. We made some new friends. Saw some old friends.
Yeah. That's what was kind of cool, is you got to meet new people and visit with the old people. And visit with people that you feel like you've known forever.
And here is I'm going to drop a little Easter egg for one of the videos that are coming out. For those of you in the Big Bear Homestead Weight Loss Challenge group, I got a surprise for you guys. And it's huge. Huge. And it's going to be extremely helpful. It's going to be, this surprise is going to be, it's going to bring another level to the group to help you succeed in losing your weight.
B-Lady said, oh no, weight loss time again.
So it never ends, B-Lady. We're always trying to help folks lose weight. Trying to get everybody healthy. So
Daddy Dessa has a question for you.
what's your question in the middle of my live stream, baby? Yes. So what else, honey? I'm driving. You got me doing most of the talking.
I'm trying to pay attention to the...
Well, we've got to be on this road like
Chat.
30 miles.
No, I was looking at the chat. Lake of the Ozarks.
So does anybody have any questions? I see Tommy Alderman was there. Of course, Doug Stacy was there.
Tommy and Patty. Patty was doing her sourdough starter. class.
Chris, Jess, Jeremiah, Trip H,
You said 2 family.
2 family,
Haywire Homestead.
Haywire
was there.
Homestead was there.
Heritage Way. Whoa!
What?
Francine, thank you. Hope this can help toward gas.
Oh, thank
Just
you,
love y'all.
Francine.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
That was awesome. Thanks. So Patty's sourdough thing, that was pretty funny. Ladessa came over and she's like, I'll see y'all in a little bit. I gotta go. And I was like, what? She's gotta go. I gotta go watch Miss Patty's sourdough. So then I asked her, I said, did you learn anything? She's like, yeah, I learned something. She's like, but I was really there to support her, which I thought was really cool. She's like, I was there to support her. And I was like, well, that's really nice of you. And I said, so what did you learn? And she goes, yeast. I was like, what? She's like, you can see her digging in her brain. Like, what did I just listen to? And I was like, well, what did you learn? And she's like, yeast. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Of course, yeast. Duh. Just made me laugh.
And so, in my presentation, it was a full house. All the seats were full, which was really cool. And there was a lot. That had to be the presentation where
Which one?
mine.
Yeah.
The people asked the most questions. That was the very first one that people asked that many questions.
Yeah.
And
There was
it
a lot of.
great. And the questions
Gotta
keep coming,
That's okay.
keep coming.
You're good.
They kept coming, and there were so many of them that
Yeah.
I ran over,
Yeah.
and
And Stacy was like, that'll be the last question because they were already running behind schedule and he was the very first presenter, so he was just making them further behind schedule. So she's like, okay, that's the last question. But yeah, they said that, that's a hot topic right now. Predator control is definitely,
yeah. So guys, next is the Homesteaders of America Conference. Now, while we're talking about this, I am putting on a hands-on class the day before the conference.
Right.
You can purchase a seat to be in the classroom, and we are going to dive deep into predator control.
Right.
You will leave that class with enough information and experience that you should be able to combat any predator that you come into contact with on your homestead. You'll be able to identify it through different signs, tracks, the damage that was done, how on your chicken, how it was attacked can also tell you what predator you're going to be dealing with.
Right.
And you're going to know all of this information when you leave my class.
Mm-hmm.
Go to the homesteadersofamerica.com, go to I think it's the tab is online classes, or not online classes, but classes, or it may be called workshops.
Yeah.
And sign up for
Hands-on
it.
workshops, I think is what it is. But yeah, you can sign up for it and go to it. It's definitely worth it.
Yeah.
Because the thing that happens a lot with this class is people don't think they need it until it's too late, and then they need it and they don't have access to it.
Yeah. We will not be able to make the Stivers
No,
this year. There's just no way.
Yeah. Not gonna happen this year.
Not this year.
We've already done. This is our second event. We've got a whole nother one coming.
We just can't afford it because right now we're down to one vehicle and there's no way the Prius would make it there, so we have to rent vehicles.
And that's like probably $400 every time we rent one, because we choose to take the insurance that goes with it, and so that pops it up over $400 every time we take one. So
I would love to be able to go to the Stivers, but that's just
not this year. Maybe maybe something next year.
Yeah.
But we're fortunate, you know, like we've got friends in Arkansas close to the shindig. So when they do that again next year, we'll be, you know, be able to do that.
The Stivers is sometime in November. I think it's like the second
first week in November, I think.
First or second week in November.
Yeah, and it's in Kentucky, isn't it?
I think so.
I think it's in Kentucky.
Yeah.
It's a good little hop for us.
Yeah.
And have somewhere to stay, and you know.
You know.
Bye, Tanya. Say hello to Kitty for us.
Yeah. Tell her we miss her. But the cops are out thick as thieves today.
Mm-hmm. It's the beginning of the month.
I wonder if they're looking for somebody.
I don't know.
Because it seems like they're pulling over the same
Kind of
type
cars.
of vehicle.
Could be. Looking for a specific type.
Yeah.
Well,
In
Frankfort, Kentucky. There you go. Okay. We still got another hour and some change.
Yeah. So we are running full steam ahead to big
Baker
plans for 2020.
Oh, yeah.
So really start to look. I'll give you some hints right here for what we got, 20, 30 people in here right now.
I'd like to ask for prayer. The wife and I are feeling an incredibly strong pull to get out of suburbia. Pray for the Lord's guidance and wisdoms.
Most definitely.
Absolutely.
He's pulling you.
Other half got a speeding ticket yesterday. First one
What just
moving
happened?
back to
What just
Missouri.
happened?
I don't know.
The whole phone died.
It did.
There we go.
No.
Well, sorry about that. Don't know what happened.
I looked at some property in Marietta today.
Who said that?
Marietta, Texas. That was Lone's car.
Oh, you're
Yeah,
funny.
Marietta, Texas. Silly monkey. Woo! For some seeds at Baker Creek. Whoop, whoop! I love me some Brenda.
Thank you, Brenda. But we're talking about the big plans for 2020. The videos that are going to start to come out are going to be giving you guys a whole bunch of kind of Easter eggs.
Yeah.
On December 31st, we are going to do a premiere video. It's going to be a long video. It's going to be kind of like almost like a little bit of a documentary. And it's going
All right,
to
Tracy, bye. Thanks for joining us.
explain what the game plan is for that year. It's going to talk about why we chose to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is a major thing. We are dropping phones
So we're not driving crazy.
and we're just saying forget it.
2020, what's up? That's what we're saying. You're going to have to bear with us because
And it's going to be a life-changing event.
mm-hmm.
And no, Robyn's not pregnant, and no, Robyn and I are not getting a divorce. That's
Yeah.
not it.
None of those.
But it's gonna be huge.
It's going to be huge. It's going to be good.
So
Moving to Texas, no.
not gonna happen.
Hello, Life with Linda.
But yeah, before we drop the phone and everything, so we're gonna
You're
be
moving to Missouri. No, we're not moving.
Not yet. We are. So those little things are coming, but it's going to be very important to watch that premiere. And we're gonna post it New Year's Eve evening, sometime probably about 7 o'clock. Mountain Life with Montana. Mountain Life, Montana.
Yeah.
What's up, brother? And I'm sorry I missed your live streams this week.
Did
But we
Jason
were-
sell any traps at the conference? Yes. We sold out of mouse, almost sold out of rat, and we sold quite a few
coon cups.
coon cups.
We went there with 24 coon cups. I'm coming home with 6 traps.
So we sold quite a bit of those. We need to sell more. Definitely, let's have a New Year's Eve party. Definitely learned a lot. Another thing that we learned a lot from this conference is the magnitude of the crowd was not nearly as big as what we have going on for, hey brown coat, what's up? We learned that we didn't have nearly as much as we probably need to have. And Homesteaders of America, you have way more people coming. And so it basically gave us not a wake-up call, but like,
I'm always amazed. The homesteading community never disappoints, and you guys always amaze me. First year at Homesteaders of America, we didn't know what to expect.
Nope.
And we sold out of everything.
Sold out quite a bit of, quite a few things.
The following year, Amy had us speaking, and it was a 2-day event. So we doubled everything that we bought or brought up the first year.
Right.
Because the way that our mind was thinking, okay, there's going to be people there that were there last year, and so, you know, they're probably not going to come and buy more coon cups or more mouse traps or rat traps.
Right.
You know, so we'll double it because it's a 2-day event. We'll see how it goes.
And that is literally what we did. We're like, it's going to be 2 days, so we need to bring twice as much stuff.
Right. After my lecture, which was very first thing in the morning, the very first day, by the time I got back, we were already sold out of the coon cups.
Yeah. We did not take nearly enough coon cups.
You know, and so when we came to the Homesteading Life Conference, we came with everything doubled.
Mm-hmm.
And we still,
Yeah.
and so I'm very nervous. So if anybody has any type of experience with finding out how much of inventory.
Thank you, Francine.
What Francine?
She just sent us another $25. She said, didn't realize you were on your way to Baker's Creek. My husband and I went there in July. We're celebrating our 25th wedding anniversary. Enjoy seed shopping.
Thank you
awesome.
so much.
Thank you, Francine. Appreciate that.
25 years. 10 more years to go and we'll be at 25.
Right. We're working towards that. It's definitely a goal.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hashtag life goals.
Hashtag marriage goals. Just saying.
So,
Down the road.
but if anybody has any experience on that, on what's the proper,
Really ever have enough.
please send that algebra problem to Robyn. Big Bear Farms at hotmail.com.
Yeah.
Attention, Robyn Algebra. And so that way it can help us figure this out, because this is a huge stumbling block for us.
Well, it's just frustrating when you know you have more potential, because we had to turn several people away on the mouse and rat traps. And it's not that it was a lot of money for us to put forth ahead of time. Like, we could have gotten the stuff and brought it. We just didn't think needed that many.
Yeah.
But one thing I'm remembering, and I don't know that it will necessarily be as driven this time around, because last year he was speaking, so he had an audience that then followed him over to the table. This year is going to be a little bit different. He's not giving a speech, so I don't know if the exposure is going to be the same where, you know, that would happen. Is there a way to take pre-orders and then pack for on-site sales? Yeah. I mean, you probably could.
But nobody wants to do it.
Yeah. You know, sometimes people, you know, we tried to do that last year. We're like, hey, you know, go ahead and get your stuff. We'll bring it. And that way you won't have to pay shipping, and it'll already be taken care of for you. You'll make sure you get it. And it just doesn't work that way.
Nobody wants to do that.
Yeah. And a lot of people don't realize that and I don't know, I'm kind of like this. Once I get my hand on something, that's when I truly know whether or not it's something I want or need.
Especially when it comes to trapping.
No,
and
we're
traps.
on 54 right now.
When it comes to trapping and traps, that is more of a. It's
Yep.
got to be right here in their face.
In their face and see it,
And they
see how
gotta
it
see
works.
And that way they can, because a lot of things with traps and trapping is people get intimidated by them because they believe all of the old myths about standing on this trap, standing on that,
Breaking bones.
and all these things, and they get intimidated by them. And so, but then when they see it in person, and then they go, oh, I can do that. Oh, that's not really going to hurt the animal. And then that's when they make that decision, because they've been on the fence about it for so long, and they're frustrated with the predator taking their chickens, and they know they got to do something about it.
Well, and the other thing is, like, a lot of these traps, like in the old days, you used to see they have these like obnoxious, like spiked jaws and things like that. And then when they see these traps and realize that they're not
That way.
they don't look like that and they're not like that, and that this is just this is a part of homesteading that nobody wants to talk about. That Jason has a really good analogy. For all of the gardeners, people that garden, we know that if you don't weed, that weeds will overtake your plants and you won't have a good harvest. So what do? As soon as the weeds start to show, we start pulling them out, making sure that they don't overtake your garden. Or if you have a deficiency in something, and as soon as you see that, to add calcium or add nitrogen or whatever, you do that to make sure that you preserve your harvest. And people don't get that same mentality with predators. I'm growing these birds to lay eggs for my food. I'm growing these birds to provide meat for my freezer. But then they don't want to acknowledge that, this raccoon or this possum could potentially take my food source away from me. Part of homesteading is not feeding the predators, it's feeding yourself.
Unless you eat the predators.
Unless you eat the predators. But,
That's
so that's the thing, is like, I feel like a lot of people don't think about all that. Do you sell them online? Can you do a video on them? Would love some mouse traps that work. So we do sell the mouse traps online. We do have a video on YouTube about them. And definitely check out our website. It's www.bigbearhomestead.com/shop. When you go there, you'll see it'll say trapping must-haves. You click on that and it's on there. We should talk about possibly investing in stock on hand so you'll have more to take and sell. Give me a call.
Who said that?
Only prepper. Imagine everyone has mice, so maybe you can focus on them to reel in a lot of fun. Like if you live in a rural place, you're going to have a mice. Well, that's part of his class. If you were to attend his class, that's part of it. That is definitely part of it. Another would be always wanted to be a beekeeper but didn't know how to catch them. Tie that to swarm traps. Have them on a website listed for sale. If you sell out, keep one as a demo. Have a laptop on site to make orders and get Square or PayPal. We've done that. People they want it in their hand. Because we had one guy that we're like, look, we'll even waive your shipping. And he took us up on that because it was just going to be 4 mouse traps. And so we knew it wasn't going to be very heavy, so it wouldn't cost us a lot. And we probably won't make anything from the sale, but that's okay. Because at the end of the day, we got the trap in the person's hand.
Well, he also bought rat traps and coon cups.
Right. But our margin on stuff is not, we don't make a killing off of these traps for real. So
off of the coon cup, I think we make $1.
It's not much. So,
But at the end of the day, it's not for me. It's not about the money as much as it is educating people and for helping them protect their food.
yeah.
Because look, yes, we need to make a little bit of an income from it, and it helps.
Right.
Okay, but when you look big picture wise, okay, big picture wise. At the end of the day, most of us that are in homesteading came from a preparedness background. At the end of the day, if I can put a coon cuff in your hand and it protects your flocks, and that helps you raise your level of preparedness and give you a bunch of freedom and independence, then I do not have to worry about you coming to knock on my door or trying to take my chickens and stuff if something happened in this country.
Right.
So at the end of the day, by me selling you a coon cuff and only making $1 on it, I'm investing in you.
Right.
I'm investing in myself by empowering you, and that's one less person, one less family that I would have to worry about coming to try to infiltrate my homestead if the fecal matter hit the oscillation device.
Right, exactly.
And look, our country is in a rough state right now.
Yeah.
We've pulled away from God. We judge. There's a lot of judging going on, and there's a lot of people that there is a divide in this country, whether it's racial or biblical or what. We are one spark away from another civil war.
Yeah, serious divides.
And one way how we can combat that is to help everybody in this country gain a little bit of independence, a little bit of freedom.
Right.
Stop relying on a broken food system.
Right.
Stop relying on a food system that is led and empowered by Satan himself. Stop relying upon a government that is so self-centered that it has forgotten that it is there for the people. The people are not here for the government. The government is they're supposed to be here for the people. And their responsibility is to make sure that we remain free. Not to tell us what to do with our bodies. Not to tell us who we can or cannot marry. Not to tell us what we can and cannot spend our money on. And they're definitely not there to make raising your own food illegal. And how we combat that is at the voting booth.
Another cop. 55. Sorry.
And by gaining our independence. And it starts with gaining our independence on our food supply.
Yeah.
There are too many food deserts in this country. It is a sad state of affairs when a 2-liter of Coca-Cola is more affordable
Than a bottle of water.
Or a head of broccoli.
Yeah. I had a friend of mine that went to the airport, and he's, very like water, granola, that whole eating healthy kind of thing. And he said it really opened his eyes of what is running our country right now, because a bottle of water costs twice as much as a bottle of soda.
And the reason for this, look, make no mistake about this. There is a rhyme and reason that they're doing. What's up, Anita? How you been, girl? For the reasons that they're doing what they're doing. There is no money in having a healthy nation. No money can be made in a healthy nation.
No, you can't, right.
Because the majority of the money made in this country is pharmaceuticals and doctors.
Yep, hospitals.
There's
medical.
a reason. There is a reason why they stopped teaching doctors basic nutrition.
Yeah.
There's a reason for that. There's a reason why these pharmaceutical companies are going into these hospitals and taking these doctors out to fancy lunches, paying for fancy golf games, to get them to push their latest product. When a TV commercial comes on and the list of side effects is the longest part of the commercial, there is something wrong with this. When you're driving through middle America, where we're at right now, and on the longest strip, there's corn and soybean on both sides, and there is more signs telling you the type of genetically modified seed and chemicals that are used
on those fields
than there are billboards. If you're going down Interstate 40 or Interstate 20, there is something stinking wrong with that. And how we fix this is by folks like Doug and Stacy, us, Jess and Jeremiah, Single Dad, all these people that are putting these videos out on YouTube to teach y'all how to become free from those and it's chains of slavery. That's what it is. Let's just call it what it is. They keep us enslaved by keeping us unhealthy.
Keep us dependent upon the food system that they provide. I'll tell you, there's something about when you grow your own food and you eat your own stuff, you provide your own, clear as day I can remember this. Ladessa was like less than a year old, so I know it's been 10 years.
Are we still going the right way?
Yes. I know it's been 10 years, and you're fixing to have to make this loop-de-loop right here.
This Lebanon?
Yeah. But I know for a fact, I can remember it plain as day. We had bees, we had processed our own pork, and we had a milk cow, and we had chickens. And we literally had breakfast. Everything on the plate and on the table was ours. We were drinking a cold glass of milk from our cow. We were having scotch eggs. The eggs were from our chickens. The pork was from our pigs. And the honey that we used to bind it all together was from our bees. And I am telling you, there is nothing more satisfying and freeing than doing that. Looking at that and going, not only did I just have one thing, but man, everything on my table was mine. Yes. But even just grabbing a tomato out of your garden and being like, I'm going to make a tomato sandwich for myself. I'll give you a good example. Blaze is at the house right now. We have okra that's come up. And he was like, yeah, they were getting a little long. I didn't know whether you wanted me to harvest them or not. I said, dude, grab them. Make yourself some fried okra for dinner tonight. He was like, oh, yeah, that sounds good. He doesn't have to go to the grocery store to get it. You walk about 50 yards and there it is. And he's got it. He's good to go. There's something empowering about knowing where your food came from, knowing that you provided it for yourself, and that you're, doing this for yourself. Mm-hmm. So
72 miles.
Yep. And you know, Brenda, you're right. If they can control the food, they could control the masses. You know, Kinfolk Farm of Georgia. Hello.
Hello.
With that, all the raw stuff I ate as a child out in the fields is why I'm as healthy as I am today. Look, I believe that. I thoroughly believe the more healthily you've eaten. My grandmother lived until she was almost 100 years old. She went to the hospital 3 times before she finally died. 3 times. She had 3 kids. That's when she went to the doctor to have babies. That was it. She was put into a hospital when she died like a day or so later, and that was it. And she was old fashioned, you know, she ate off the land and lived to be almost 100 years old. Now, she wasn't bone thin. She was a hefty woman, but she was healthy. Hold on, Chris Single Dad is calling. Hello? Hello? What's up? What do you mean, where are we at? Oh my God, I was like, Jason, your one job. You have one job.
How is that my job?
You're driving.
Look, I'm gonna tell you why she's being like that with him.
Yep.
He took LaDessa, and they went to go pick up some stuff.
Okay.
And he missed the same exit 4 times. They crossed the Mississippi River like 6 times.
Yeah, I had texted her earlier and told her between 2:30 and 3 before we had stopped that last time. So she kind of had an idea. Yeah. Okay.
So he's not.
That, look, I'm so proud of you.
You gotta keep Chris paying attention, or he'll just drive right past an exit.
Okay. All right, cool. Well, we don't have too much further to go.
We're not on a live stream or anything there, Chris.
Like, I wasn't going to text and drive, so I was just calling.
So I'm just going to call and drive.
No, he's got the Bluetooth through his phone, through the car.
Through his head.
Through his head. Are we buffering?
No, I don't think so.
I don't know.
I have not seen the circle of death.
I feel like I'm getting the circle of death. Let's see, what are the different...
Buffered for a minute.
My daddy's 94, still living strong. My great-grandpa was almost 100 when he passed. He was healthy, traveled all over. He owned a farm in Arkansas.
You know, and look, Mike, the fit farmer, had to catch his class for a little bit. And
that's his time for us to...
Yeah, it buffered.
Well,
okay.
But now we're not.
Well, they just buffered on that.
That's
too.
fine. Okay, there we go. Hey, guys, I gotta run. Love you, Jason and Robyn and the kids. God bless and safe travels.
Thanks, dude. Thanks,
okay.
brother.
So we're just gonna go ahead. It's been an hour and 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So we're about an hour away. We will do some filming at Baker Creek, definitely.
Definitely be doing some
And
filming.
we'll let you guys know, you know, how that all went. And we really appreciate all the people.
Yeah.
Suburban,
send us a text because we should be coming right by your front door on the way home. And if that is the case, I at least want to stop and get a soda with you or something and hang out for a little bit and finally get that hug that you owe me.
Yeah. All right. You guys have an awesome day.
Yeah.
And
be looking for videos coming out starting on Monday.
yep, we'll get all of that put together this weekend and have it out to you by Monday.
Yep.
So, all right. We love y'all. Look at those 2 hands.
We love you. Thank you, everybody, for the super chats.
Absolutely. Now I have more of an excuse to get more seats.
Look, I'm already upset because you still have not told me what B-Lady sent you about chicks. So, don't think I forgot about that. All right, guys. Remember to plant smiles
Grow giggles.
and harvest love.
Harvest the
All
love.
right, guys. We'll see you soon.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.